This is the Biz News Podcast, one-on-one conversations with experts in business and personal development.
We will spare you the porta potty jokes, you'll thank us later, but not the image of fiberglass barely large enough for an adult portable toilets lined up like reluctant army recruits. You see them at festivals or perhaps outdoor weddings. But dealing with a portable toilet led David Sauers to create something better. A clean, roomy, portable toilet with running water to wash up, air conditioning, and even breath mints. He joins us from his office at Royal Restrooms to tell his success story on this episode of Bizgnus Interviews. David, let's start by telling our viewers and listeners what it is that you do for a living, because they would not guess this in 100 years.
Well, I help people go to the bathroom a little bit more enjoyable. I provide luxury portable restrooms for outdoor events and festivals, weddings, anything that's outside. I provide a fully functioning restroom, just like you would have at your house or hotel or restaurant, except we do it on wheels and outside.
And so you're talking about a restroom that has running water to wash your hands?
Absolutely. Climate controlled, mirrors to do a little prep, and plenty of room if you need to take your kids in there as well.
What on earth got you into this? Is this a long-term family business you inherited from your folks or what?
No. Majority though, most portable restroom companies, sanitation companies are family heirlooms. They've been run for generations and handed down. But our industry, which when we started Royal Restrooms, we started 21 years ago, it happened from an experience at an outdoor event. I was taking my children we were at a Shakespeare in the Park festival, and my oldest was potty training at the time. And I had my youngest on my hip. She was an infant. And we went over to a porta potty, and very quickly I realized that I cannot get two people really into a porta potty comfortably. And as I'm kind of trying to maneuver around in this dark porta potty, I realized that my daughter got her hands on the potty. She is looking down into the hole, and I am panicked. I am like, don't touch anything. Whoa, I'm trying to yank her away. Long story short, I had to hand CC off to a patron outside. So I've got my foot cracked open the door so that I can keep an eye on her, and I'm holding Stella over the porta potty. And about that same time, she pees all over me instead of in the toilet. So I go from being panicked and concerned to all of a sudden just upset and angry. I left that event very upset. And the whole way home, I thought to myself, why is a portable toilet the accepted norm? I'm like, we put all this effort into bringing people to an event. We have tents, we have lights, we have ice sculptures, we have all of this nonsense. And the one thing that every one of us will do is go to the bathroom. And it's one of the most private things that we still do besides count our money. So why on earth is this just socially acceptable? So at that point, I went home and I drew out a half bath restroom that we could put on a trailer. And it was my business partner, Robert Glisson, that was really the catalyst and the movement behind it, because so many people are afraid to take that step. And I am sure that there are thousands of listeners that have these little ideas and these black book moments that they never act on. And I probably would have never acted on it if it wasn't for my partner. He was really, the motivational support piece that propelled Royal Restrooms into existence. So our business, like probably many others, evolved out of a problem that we found a solution to.
What problems did you have to overcome to become successful? Any business that is in business for more than 5 years in this country is an exception to the rule, and to be in business for 21 years, good grief, that's really rare.
Well, thank you. We're very blessed, and we are honored by being able to be 21 years in business, and we are happy and excited that we are continuing to grow rather than scale down. We've got offices all across the U.S., but to answer your question more directly, people thought we were crazy, that we had lost our mind. Like, why would you do this? And it's all about changing that mindset. And when people finally saw what we were trying to do and they used our facility and they sat down, they never wanted to go back. And I believe that's for a lot of things. A lot of businesses, you have to, just because you have passion about it, doesn't mean that somebody else is going to have passion about it. Our business, Royal Restrooms, people had an instant attraction to it. They liked it. It was necessary. It opened their eyes. I can't tell you how many times we heard, this is so simple. Why didn't we ever think of this? Why didn't I think of this? Like, all the times that I've said, I can't stand going to the bathroom. Oh, I'm dreading going to the porta potty. Oh, what do they have? Never did it occur, what is the solution? And I think that so many businesses, that's all you need is, just because you have passion, you have a solution, can your clients, can your customers also receive that same passion and enthusiasm?
David, what did you do before this?
I was a commercial banker for a local bank here.
Well, that's a bit of a turnaround in career trajectory, isn't it?
It absolutely is. But, I think entrepreneurship was always in my blood from an early age, doing small tasks and always trying to elevate upon someone else's ideas and build upon that and try to, how to make things operate or work just a little bit better. And every job that I took, I learned something from it and I put into my business. But being a commercial lender, I got to see so many different businesses in my city, and to see their passion, their excitement, their joy, and that's powerful to see that many people's lives changed and how they took command of their fate or their future. I think that says a lot. And I think that that's what a lot of people, that's kind of the American dream.
David, you occupy a perch in the tree that very few people do. A, you were a commercial banker, so you saw how other people were funding and growing their businesses, or not. And B, you did it yourself. What advice do you have for would-be entrepreneurs about getting off their duffs and getting in business?
Sure. So first and foremost, you got to have gratitude. You got to know that you're not the only one supporting your belief. There's always someone else pushing you along, whether it be family, friends. You've got to have that support, or else it undermines what you're doing. Two, you've got to have grit. You've got to have obtainable goals. And one thing that I missed a lot is, so many times, so long ago, I envisioned where I would be in life at some milestone. And at some point, you kind of wake up and you're like, I'm where I dreamt I would be years ago, but I did not ever realize that I was living my dream. So I think offering, you've got to do it. You've just got to take the chance and believe in yourself, and you'll make it. People always find a way to survive. And when you put your mind and soul into it, you can achieve what you need to achieve.
You mentioned earlier in the conversation that you have offices all across the country. Are those franchise holders or are they company offices?
No. So Royal Restrooms only has one company-owned office. The remainder are all franchised offices. And right now we have about 50 office locations in about 18 states, which comprise roughly of around 30 different independent owners.
How do you then maintain consistency in terms of delivery uh, from where you are in Georgia, say, to somebody halfway across the country?
Well, best thing is picking the right people. Trust. You have to make sure that those people that you've chosen the right people to basically partner with. Partnerships, franchises are like a marriage. There's a certain amount of trust, there's a certain amount of respect and accountability. I want people who are community involved. I want somebody who's going to want to leave a legacy. They're going to want to wear Royal Restrooms on their sleeve. And if they have pride in themselves, then they're going to treat their business with pride. And that respect falls back to themselves personally. So I've chosen people who are going to be personally accountable for their business. So that doesn't necessarily make us be so corporately structured to enforce how we want things done. It's a more of a collective effort.
Where do you hope to have the business in, say, another 10 years? And where will you be? Will you finally retire to that island near Tahiti or what?
No, no, no. I am a man that my hobbies are business. I enjoy doing this too much. I enjoy being innovative. I've got wedding shows for the next 6 weeks, and it's funny. I was talking to somebody else, and they're like, "I can't believe you go and do these things." And I'm just like, you know what? I'm the peacock, man. I go out there and I strut around in my purple suit and my yellow shoes, and I get out there and do the things that others don't necessarily do. Not because that's what I like, but I can appreciate where I'm at in life and I can have some fun with it. And if I can make my business memorable and I can help my other offices grow by being memorable, uh, I'll take it and I'll do it. But I would like to continue to grow our businesses in the Northeast and be in 50 states, not just 18. And I would like to see all of our experience continue to, be that strong fist that people can count on and event planners can count on. Our personal and our professional service is resilient across the country.
The daughters were kind of instrumental in getting the business conceived. Are they still with the business? Are you seeing the family going to another generation?
I don't know. I have one daughter who works with us. You saw her briefly earlier. And the other ones, they are home. They work in the business when they're home from school. But they're all still very supportive and, believe it or not, kind of like little potty princesses as they're known. They wear it on their sleeve as well. Uh, I don't know. I think in different aspects of the business that they would really thrive in. And they certainly have all worked in the business. They know how to clean a trailer, they know how to tow a trailer, they know how to back up a trailer, and they know how to promote the business. But I also want them to find their own way, and so I do whatever I can to support them in following their dreams. Doesn't have to be mine.
David, where can people get more information about you? You must have a website, I'll bet.
Absolutely. So Royal Restrooms is royalrestrooms.com. That is our national website. And you can find us through all different social media outlets under Royal Restrooms as well. And personally, I'm on LinkedIn under David Sauers. And I'd be happy to talk about or discuss any kind of business opportunities. But more importantly, we'd love to be your restroom provider at your next events.
Now, it comes time for the big question, and that is, what would you like to add that we have not had a chance to talk about? And it could be anything.
Wow. Well, I think I would like to thank my wife and my family. You know, my wife has stood by me. She has guided me. She has seen the ups and downs, and she has remained steadfast. My family as well, my children, my parents. You know, I've always tried to prove something. I don't really have to prove anything anymore. You know, I've always felt like that. And my wife, I want to be more like her. She's always sees the incredible positive out of any situation. So I'd like to thank her.
You've been listening to the Biz News Podcast. We welcome your input. Send your email to editor@bizgnus.com. That's BIZGNUS.com. Thanks for listening.